Okay, this is all backwards. I'm going to show my chair clip at the beginning of the video, and then this explaining that I'm going to put a video on of my granddaughter and her friend Violet that spent the night last weekend and some of the fun they had. They wanted to make their own YouTube video. Hi, Rosie. Hi, Violet. And so I wanted to put it on at the beginning so they could go ahead and watch that and they wouldn't have to watch a long, boring art video. Okay? So this is their little clip at the beginning of their YouTube video, and then the rest will be my normal video. Thanks for watching.
This one's really hard, but it's like the perfect.
Violet, what are you making?
Fairy doors.
A fairy door. Beautiful. And it actually opens.
Yes. Oh.
We'll have to fix the bend, won't we? Rosie, what are you making?
Fairy door.
And does yours open?
Of course. Wait, hold on.
Wonderful.
It has all my favorite gadgets on it. Oh,
Gadgets
I need to glue this on. Wait, Violet, but I thought that was my flower.
How are we going to attach it?
Oh, I got a place for mine.
Beautiful. Under the willow tree.
How are they gonna stay? Stay. I'm swinging. Come on, Milo. Should the swing with the cover on it be good now?
Yes.
Phoebe, are you sure this is strong string?
Climb on, test it out.
Oh gosh, I think that will be too much weight.
Nope, it'll be fine. I got on it.
Two of us is like one. But I think if we like actually swing it might break. Yeah. No. Yummy. Okay, I'm kind of calming down. Don't do it again. Don't do it again.
You don't want me to push you high?
No. I'm getting off. Okay, but you can't wiggle it. I'm getting. Definitely holds one Rosie.
It does hold one, Rosie.
After that, can we hold one Violet and do it? Gigi, come here. Come push me again. Go on now, just Violet. And after you're done, how about we both get on? I'll sleep out here.
Okay, it's pure leisure. Oh, I've got it turned sideways.
Yummy! Yummy! Oh, yummy in my tummy. Rosie?
Video. Ladies, how did your eyeliner go?
Beautiful.
Fairies,
this is natural.
Fairies left you eyeliner?
My mustache and my unibrow.
Think a bathtub is in order? The fairies came overnight and left a fairy house, and there's sunflowers all around it. And again, another fairy house was left here last night. It's work, but the kids enjoy it.
We shall not be videoed.
You shall not be videoed?
We need permission. You need to ask us permission. And
Can I have your permission to video, please?
Yes, you may have our permission. Need some sugar? Wait, let us have a break. Let us have a break. Oh, I don't know where I'm going. Let's have a break. I don't know where I'm going either. Oh. Okay, let us have a break. Oh goodness. Oh no. Okay. Oh goodness sake. It's not going. Oh no. gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay.
Hello everyone, it's Birdie here, the Recycled Hippie Chick. Hey, before I get started today, I want to show you my new chair. Remember I told you that little stool that I had was just too hard and I was going to have to look for a comfy chair? Well, ask and ye shall receive. Carol, one of my followers on here and my friend from Augusta, called or messaged me and said, hey, I have a nice chair, and boy, is it nice. I'm not kidding you. It's a pump up like a beauty shop chair, so you can either put your pressure on it and lower it, or you can pump yourself up where you need. So I just wanted to share my blessing. You ask God for what you need and He gives it to you. Now, on with our video. Okay, here we go. I've been working in my cowboy journal. Today I was watching Christina at Christina's Shack. She was doing some slow stitching, and she kind of put me in the mood to work in my fairy journal. But I thought, no, I've got to keep going because I had this already laid out, thinking, things that I might want. Well, I actually did not have these laid out. These came from Deb in Happy Mail. And I had these laid out. I had kind of gone around the edge of this with some gesso because it was just out of a home interiors book, and I liked the cowboyness of it. So I brought her Happy Mail stuff out, and this was in the stack of stuff, and this was not cowboy. But when I laid it down over here to say, well, that'll have to maybe go in my fairy journal, I thought, oh, it looks cute sitting there, so I'm going to put her in there just because I like it. I wanted to use this, and it was kind of girly, and none of my cowboy stuff kind of looked good with it, so she had sent me a little girl in one of her little items that I could use in my cowboy journal, and I thought she looked good there, and I found these feathers, so I thought, okay, it looks like we have a video going on. Oh, and I had this little packaging here with these little unicorn horses on it. So I thought maybe she could go in there. They could go in there too. So here we go. I just want to play. First, I got to have a swig of my coffee. Cheers, everyone. Happy Sunday. Sitting over here on my warmer plate that Ricky Tikki Tavi gave me a few years ago. Okay. Where do we want to start? Well, let's just start with putting her on and getting her out of the way, because she'll be easy. She's just gonna glue on. I might ink her a little bit around the edges. I hope you guys have all been well and happy and getting done what you want to get done. I am exhausted today because first of all, I don't know where my scissors are, and it's very hard to reach my video to push pause. Here. Okay, sorry. I have to pull my chair out and stand up on a stool to put my video up and down and check on it and push pause and all that. So, what was I saying? I don't know. I got a wild hair yesterday. No, it's been last week. Yeah, my wild hairs take a week to work out. So, I don't know if I haven't taken a video of her in her new spot. Okay, I've been rehabbing a squirrel. Her name's Helen. I named her after Miss Moss, which I thought, Miss Moss. I'm going to put a sign over her little house that says Miss Moss's Cottage, because doesn't that sound so woodlandy and squirrelish? But her name's Helen, and she has been out where Walnut was, although Walnut was in a spring baby, so he was out in the barn, and It was nice and cool out there, and life seemed to be okay. Well, along come Helen, and she's a fall baby, and she could possibly have to stay with me all winter. You guys better get your coffee, because this is going to be a squirrel saga story. I've never raised a fall baby squirrel before, but they do stay in the nest with their parents and their siblings all winter until they can figure out how to learn to do all the squirrel survival stuff the next spring. Takes them all summer to kind of figure things out. And still, I'm noticing in the nests I have around here on our property, there's more than one that live in each nest. So I don't know that the families don't commune for quite some time. Well, Helen doesn't have any family, and the back side of our barn, where I raise the squirrels, is very remote. They see nothing back there. They see no wildlife. They see nothing but an occasional car go down the dirt road, across the pasture. So, on top of that, last week, it's been in the 100s here. As a matter of fact, I think we set a record at 103 earlier on this week. I'm not positive, don't quote me on that, but I know we set a record. And, well, yesterday it was 98, and today it's 67. What a difference. Anyway, I had been going out there, and this poor squirrel was so hot because the side of the barn where my little enclosure was is out in the wide open sun with no shade tree, and I had been hanging a tarp up over it, but in actuality, the tarp had been kind of making things almost worse because it kind of enclosed her in, and there was no draft or breeze going through there. So I started worrying about her. I would take out a baggie full of ice, and putting it in her little hut. Like, you know, her little house is inside the barn, which is like an oven when it's hot, because my barn is metal. And then she had all of her running area in outside. Well, I was taking it's not bright enough. Okay, here we go with the mixing of colors. Can you brighten up a light blue with a dark blue? Let's see. So I was taking out a baggie of ice and putting it in her hut, and she was laying on it, loving it. And I felt sorry for her. And while I sit out there with her, because, you know, she needs me, while I sit out there with her, you can hear the other squirrels in the trees chipper-chappering at each other and talking and you know, communicating. And I thought, how lonely for her to just sit here and just hear the other squirrels and not be able to see them or know what they look like. She hasn't seen a squirrel since she fell out of the tree from her mama. So it started weighing on my heart. One day I'm walking by the shed that we have up here in the squirrel area. We have a shed that we've always kept our woodworking stuff in, and it has always leaked, and it's just completely rotting. Wasn't much we could do about the leakage problem because it's on a downhill slope there, and the water would come off the back of the building and get up in the building, and it would run down off the hill and go in the building. Well, we had decided, since I had decided that since the barn was empty now, that I would move all that woodworking stuff because we very rarely need it. I would move all that woodworking stuff to the barn, and then we could just tear that shed down or leave the roof and the patio, the cement part, the slab, and because it's right there where the fire pit is. We could just have it like a little patio area. Well, husband has more sense than I do, and he's not, he thinks a squirrel is a squirrel. They're wild. They live in the heat all the time. You're going a little overboard, but he knows how I am. And while he's at work last week, I commenced to moving all that woodworking stuff out to the barn. One wagon, little kid's wagon at a time. And the bigger stuff that I could put on a dolly and roll with ease, I did, because I did not want to send my back into shambles. So, one very slow moving wagon at a time, I started hauling that stuff out. It took me all week. My plan was to take that shed. Well, I'm just going to draw you a picture. Let's just draw a picture. These are the trees, okay? Trees everywhere. I have a big shed right here that I keep all my gardening stuff in. It's a what do you call it? Grain bin. I have a fire pit here. And we have this shed with my path. My path goes up into here, and then we have a tree house over here, a kid's tree house that we feed the squirrels in. So this is all trees. This is like the runway for the squirrels going through here back and forth to go eat, because this is their eating station, and they live up in these trees and then all down across the property. There's 2 doors on the front, big opening doors. My wild idea is to remove this metal panel right here. Each metal panel is 4 by 8 sheets of metal, all along siding it. I have a loft inside that fills up half of the shed, and then the other half is open. I decide to take this sheet of metal off, cover it with chicken wire, enclose this in with plywood and chicken wire on up. That all I have to do is nail it to the rafters right here of the loft. This whole half would be enclosed. I would put trees in here and her little house up here on the loft. And she could lay here and look out and watch the squirrels, and this is all trees. She can lay in the branches of her trees and look at the other squirrels, and she would be happier. So yesterday, I spent from 6:30 in the morning. I finally quit at 5:30 last night, and I was completely done. Squirrel was moved in, happy, wonderful, just zooming all over in here. And that's what I did. I went out with my chainsaw and I cut down great big trees that I could haul in and stand up in there in between those loft rafters. I took the floor of it out, left some long boards for her to run around on, and she has a tree menagerie in there. And yeah, that's the crazy idea that I had and that I fulfilled this week just because I was worried about a hot squirrel. Oh man, my husband had to remove the electricity because there were electricity cords going all through from electricity being run in there. So he had to shut the electricity off, remove all that for me because, she could chew through that and be fried squirrel. Now, my goal is that I'm thinking maybe I could release her earlier instead of keeping her all winter, but sort of still be keeping her. Because if her house is in here, and there's a big limb hanging over a tree right here, eventually I could cut a hole in the top of the chicken wire, run a branch from here over to this limb of this tree here, and in about a month let her start, after everybody's acclimated to her and she's acclimated to everybody else, open that up and let her start exploring. She knows she can run back in, and this is her safe spot, and this is where I feed her. I have boards laying across here in the rafters. She can come back to this all winter long and have her little heating pad in there and know this is a warm, dry spot and this is her safe place in here. I could shut this door every night after she's gone in to keep the coons out. This could be her safe spot, but yet she could still be experimenting with freedom. That's my goal. We'll see if it works. Wish me luck and pray that the Lord helps me have made the right decision. Okay, well, now that we've had Pictorial 101 on Squirrel Menagerie, let's start playing. This is where I watch Lynn on a bit of birdsong. She just plays and does her thing, and everything blends in and looks good together. And so I decide I'm going to experiment and try it. See, I have a pencil sharpener. And do you think I know where it's at? No, it should be. You know what? I bet I have it in the spare room for when it's too hot out here. We'll do it the old-fashioned way. Anyway, she does stuff, and she's able to pull in like these hard edges in with the rest of her project, and it looks adorable. And I do it, and what does it look like? A blue picture frame. So I don't quite know what to do next to pull this in. She would doodle or do something, and then she would take her sloppy brush and just make it all look wonderful. And see, it doesn't. It looks like a sloppy brush over. It doesn't work for me. I'm trying. I'm working it. And then when I'm done here, I might just do some gesso and see what that does. I don't know. Some people just have that gift. God has given them the gift of creativity, and sometimes I wonder, did I fall out of the creativity tree and land on my head? Okay, well, let's let that dry for a little bit, and we'll come back with maybe some stencil or some gesso or something. Okay, let's draw some colors out of here and add some color to this page. This is something that's in there, and this is kind of what those flowers are, kind of like that flower. And I love this greenish yellow, although I don't have any up here, and I don't want to get up and push pause. I'm wondering, oops, I'm sorry, you guys. I'm wondering if I can make some greenish yellow. Yeah, I've been wanting to learn how to color mix lately, and here I am happening to do it out of necessity. I don't know what I'm doing. And my water is so dirty that it has chunks in it. Although that is a pretty color. I'm going to use it. I kind of wanted to collage on this first and I didn't. Maybe I should stop and do a little bit of collaging. Okay, I've got to get some clean water if I'm going to get serious. Okay, now, I almost freaked out today. I was watching Christina at Christina's Shack, and one of her prompts in her slow stitching was fairy, and it got me in the mood to do my fairy journal. And there was this time when, I don't know, was it Christina? Yeah, I think it was Christina that had this most adorable book with these fairies in it, and I had to have one. So I looked it up and found it online and ordered it. And oh my gosh, it made me think of that book, and I thought, I panicked. Oh my goodness, all this cleaning out of stuff. I don't remember seeing that fairy book. So I came out here and commenced searching for it, and I could not find it. And I thought, I've lost my stinking fairy book, or else I burnt it with all that other stuff, that I've just got done burning. And came over here and pulled out my fairy file, because, I'm organized now. Pulled out my fairy file, and sure enough, that book was in the file. I had at some point put my fairy book in the fairy file. So, hallelujah, I didn't lose my fairy book. Now, I don't want to do this. When I put my underpants down, I like to use not gloss gel medium. I like to use my matte gel medium. I don't know why. I just do. I don't have any reason. I just like to use it when I'm putting my underpants down. I guess because it bothers me to have some of the edges come up. So I just like to make sure all my edges are down. And this is a good way to do that. And, it's the same as Mod Podge or anything else. My only problem is here in Kansas, we are so humid that Mod Podge tends to make my pages stick together, even the matte. So I've just kind of had to do away. Mod Podge used to be my drug of choice. I used to use Mod Podge. Hey, if Lori Marie Jenkins used Mod Podge, by golly, I use Mod Podge. Because I was an avid Lori Marie Jenkins follower. So I had to give it up and get matte gel medium, which I did not want to do because it costs more, but it's worth it not to have to put deli paper in between your pages because they're sticking. So today I am down. I'm going to rest and just do videos and go to the chiropractor today. And, of course, nurse a squirrel. She loves it when I just spend forever out there with her. She runs around and wrestles with me, and she, of course, needs family. I feel sorry for her. So when I go out there, sometimes I'm out there an hour, because I feel guilty about leaving a squirrel. This is how bad my animal issues are. that I think I have to spend all my time out there to keep them company like their family would. But I'm hoping. It rained last night all night long. Praise God. We needed the rain so very bad. And it was soaking wet in there today. You know, because there's a 4-foot area that's now, you know, open. Now, I watercolored this. Does that mean I can't go over this? Let's see what happens here. If I want to glue this down. So it was soaking wet in there, and I got to thinking, you know, this winter, wind blowing, freezing rain, and snow and everything else is going to blow right through that open area. So I'm going to, probably get one of those metal panels that I took off and rig it in a way that when I need to, I can kind of stand it up against the, you know, overnight or whatever, just to enclose it in from bad weather. I will rig a way to hook it back up over that hole, just to give it a little bit of shelter from the storms. She doesn't need to see out and see other squirrels in the middle of the night. So I could just like hook it at the top and put a rock in front of it at the bottom, and then the next morning take it off. There's a light in there, so she has light. If something happened, it was a bad storm all day, maybe I could turn it sideways and just cover half of the hole, and then the top half could be open where she could still see out, and the bottom half at least would keep a little bit from blowing in. I don't know. I'm not going to think about that just yet, although you know I already am. Today I'm going to rest and not think about it. Okay, I like the concept of having my daubers in here, but I can't ever find the color I'm needing. I want a brown one. There it is. Okay. Yes, you can all tell me in the comments how crazy you think I am, and that's okay. I know I am. But I have been like this since a child. I mean, I have been crazy about animals like this since I was a child. I remember one year our horses got mange on a trail ride. Somebody else's horse had mange, and it gave it to one of our horses, and then it spread rampant throughout the stables. And we had to treat our horses. We had to soak them down every night with this solution, let it set, and then we had to take a fine-tooth comb scraper and scrape their body to get these mange scabs off. And then we had to wash them off again. We had 12 horses, so we had a lot to do. Some of them didn't get it. They were out in the pasture all the time. The ones that got it were in the barn. So some of them didn't go on the trail ride with us. Anyway, I remember my dad saying he heard me leave the house in the middle of the night. I was probably 8 and had a mini bike, and see, here we go again. I'm going to change them out. I'm going to put it down lower where I can see in there better. Had quite a distance to the barn, and he said he heard the door, and he didn't know what it was. He went back to sleep, didn't think nothing of it, thought he heard the door. He wasn't sure. After a while, he thought, I'm going to get up and see what's going on. Well, my mini bike was not sitting in front of the porch where I usually parked it. So he wandered out to see where my mini bike was, and it was out by the barn, and there was a light on in the barn. So he said he came out to see what I was doing, and I was out there asleep in the barn with the horses because I was worried about them with the mange. I had gotten up and rode my mini bike to the barn to be with the horses. I'm scared to death of the dark, okay? I must have been half asleep or something, but I don't even remember that. He just told me that story, that's how he found me. This was crazy because I should have put something around that. That's okay. We'll figure it out. Well, let's see here. I think I'm just going to glue this one. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, hold the boat. I don't have my colors on here yet. I'm just too into gabbing that I haven't even got my colors on here yet. What am I thinking? What am I thinking? And there's many times when I've spent the evening out with the goats. What other color? I'd like an ochre yellow, but I don't think I have one, so we'll pretend like this is ochre yellow. I got to get some more colors over here. I only brought very few to stick up on this shelf. Now let's find a scraper. I had a hanky out in the barn yesterday and pulled it out to wipe my nose, and the squirrel grabbed it and took it in her hut. I found it in her hut this morning. She had shredded it up to make a nest out of it. So I took her some old material out there that she can tear up and use for nesting material. I had to sacrifice that hanky. It's a goner. But I knew, I had read that they kind of go through a, learning how to build a nest stage. So I've got a bunch of leaves out there and just all kinds of stuff she can use to nature to practice things with. She's been hauling sticks in her bedding, but sometimes she potties in there, so I have to take her blankets out and wash them. And she doesn't like that because I disrupt all of her stuff that she's buried and hid. But I can't have her in a pottied up nest and poo. Normally, when she gets older, she'll get out and learn to go out in the enclosure. But when she's in there, she's still pottying. Okay, let's see here. I would like to have here. Let me use one of these. I bought these for my husband to clean his teeth with, and he didn't like them. They're too cottony, so I brought them out here to use them. He likes just old-fashioned gauze. I don't know if any of you have false teeth, but this issue of getting that pink glue off of them at night is quite a mess for him. So he gets these little squares of just plain gauze and wipes them off with that as best he can when he takes them out. I told him he primps more than a girl now, getting ready. I think it'll go up like that. Gives me a little more height up here. If I were smart, I would let that glue dry, but I never claimed to be smart, so there we go. Let's see here. I'm in the mood for a little bit of stenciling. I'm going to dry this just a bit. Drying. Okay, let's see here. I don't know what I want to do. Maybe over here. And what do I want to use? Black or white? I think I'm going to use black. And then I'm going to scrape some white over it. Sorry for reaching, you guys. I just have to get those things back up there so I can... Sorry. Okay. Now I think I'm ready. I think I want to scrape some white over everything when I'm done. Or splatter. Well, that scooted over when I bent. And now it's way over. I wanted it to go over the girl into her picture. So I think I'm going to scoot it over and just put a little bit in there. Okay. Maybe she needs a little something over here. I thought it might look too crowded, but then I have to remember this is for me. And it's okay if it's crowded for me. I don't mind. Well, now we gotta go down here. She just needs a few more bushes down here. There we go. Now she's coming up out of the wilderness. I do not have play clothes on, and I'm out here playing. I'm gonna have to change before I go to the Cairo. Add this to my painty paper. Okay, let's see here. What else do we want to do? We want a sentiment at the top or something. Let's see what we got. That is going to require me pushing pause again. Well, before I do that, let's go ahead and move over here and see what we can do over here. I'm feeling a little brown, which I don't have over here. I'm thinking I want to do some brown stenciling around that of some sort, and I got rid of so many stencils. I'm just going to use, what am I going to use? I don't have anything that really looks grungy. Everything is like a pattern. Let's try this. Okay, this is not going to be, I got to figure out a resolution to this pushing pause thing. Okay, let's go ahead and do a little bit of, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, I'm just playing. And however it turns out, and I'm okay. I'm okay with that. I just am trying to break up that. It's not really breaking it up, it's just making more of a border. Really don't know what I'm doing. I'm not sure this is going to be one of my more favorite pages, but we can't have all of them as our favorite. I'm not real crazy about this stencil. I'm sorry if you're watching and you created it. I'm sorry. It doesn't really leave any defined shape. It just leaves a bunch of mush, which is fine. Some people might need a mushy stencil. That's good enough. That's good enough for me. Just takes away some starkness, doesn't it? Okay, yeah, that doesn't look too bad. Now, on this side over here, I just want to add a couple. I got a little stickers here that kind of look like they might have some of those colors in it. And now I got wet hands, and I don't want to get my stickers wet. Although I think I may put that Cowboys and Indians looks good. I was thinking about the Giddy Up, but the Giddy Up's kind of little, and I like these feathers, but I've already got feathers. So she does have her holster on, and that bang looks cute, but I think I'm just going to do the Cowboys and Indians. And I think I'm going to matte gel medium it under it. Let's see how this turns out. And I'm not really going to be crazy about the shininess of that sticker. So maybe, of course, I keep thinking this is matte gel medium, and it's not. I accidentally, oh no, this one here is the one I got at an estate sale clean out, and it was gloss. But, you know, it's free, so beggars can't be choosers. I thought if I went over it with matte gel medium, it would knock the shine off, but I'm actually going over it with gloss. That's okay. Let's just kind of go over everything since this is gloss, and that way there won't be some parts of it not and some parts of it that are. There we go. Okay, so I had my grandkids last weekend, and for a sleepover, I had Rosie and her friend Violet. Again, I've had her before, and we did an all-out last time. We did like scavenger hunt and you name it. We did everything. Well, I told them I couldn't do this time. That, you know, they could come over and have fun and play and be together, and we would have a bonfire, and that we would have, of course, the fairies would visit, and they wanted to make a fairy door. So I said we could do that, and the rest of the time they could just play. Well, we ended up having a tea party, and we ended up playing banking and pretend banking in the camper, and we ended up doing more than what I thought we would, but they wanted to make a YouTube video. And so I just took little clips here and there of them at, at our sleepover, and I told them I would add it in at the end of my video. Actually, I think I'm going to add it in at the beginning of the video. That way, if they want to watch it, they don't have to watch clear through my video to see it. So, if you saw that at the beginning of the video, that's what it was. Okay? And since I'm going to add that in, I'm going to call this done and stop here because, their 8-minute video or whatever it was, and this will be quite a video. So that's it. I actually like how this turned out, and this isn't too shabby either. So thanks for joining me. Bye-bye from Birdie. Oh, now we gotta climb up here. Be patient. I have to pull my turtle stool out. Bye-bye from Birdie.